Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Hello, nice to see you. Nice. Good evening. We're back again doing another one of these late night kind of live streams rather than the normal videos because it's international break season. Can everybody hear me okay? Can everybody see me okay? Well, I've not got an awful lot to talk about this evening. You know there's not an awful lot to talk about when Mikey Johnston is the primary topic of conversation. No offence, Mikey, if you happen to be watching or any Mikey Johnston fans watching. It's no offence, but it's not even at Celtic. He's not even here. He's playing for another club at this current moment in time. But he's been the man who's stole all the headlines over the last couple of days. So I thought, why not? We'll talk about that a wee bit. We'll talk about everything else for a wee bit. We'll get your questions. We'll have some answers, and for the next 20 or 30 minutes or so, we'll have a wee bit of a laugh, a wee bit of gab. You know, just to fill the void of Celtic. As I said, we're going to try and do as many of these as possible throughout the entirety of the international break, which, let me be honest, let me sit here for a minute, I think it's flying through. We're already on Thursday. You know, it's going to be Derby Day before you know it on the 8th of April, but Celtic will be back before you know it. We've only got just over a week to go now. It's nearly the weekend, so things are flying by. For me anyway, I feel like they're flying by. I think the new WWE game has really started eating away at my time. So I think that's how everything seems to be flying by. Thank you very much to Mac, by the way, for the donation. Nice to see everybody in here as well. Yeah, we're just going to have a bit of a laugh over the next wee while. I'm going to very quickly go and tweet the fact that I am live. No, do you know what? I can't be bothered. Type me. Let's just get into things. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Mikey Johnston made his debut for the Irish national team last night, and he has stole the headlines with his performance coming off the bench to aid Ireland in a 3-2 win against Latvia. He got an assist on his brief cameo for the Irish international team, and amongst all of that, and amongst all the drama and the victory and the celebrations for the Irish, he's obviously became a hot topic amongst Celtic fans on social media once again. Everybody's asking the questions. You know what? Is Mikey Johnston going to walk back into this Celtic team? Is he going to get a chance? Should he get a chance? Were we too naive, too quick to get rid of him? And a lot of people sharing some really, I would say, knee-jerk reactions to Mikey Johnston's brilliant performance last night. I'll say what it is. It was a brilliant performance. He came off the bench, done really well. I mean, maybe not brilliant. It was a good performance. He got an assist. He set up the winner for the team. Good run. If you've seen the goal, you'll know what it's like. You know, he bursts through a little bit of space. He does really well. Good run. Sets up the goal. And you know what? Fair play to him. I hope he does well, and I'm glad that, you know, I'm a big supporter of him switching allegiance to the Irish national team, not for staunch reasons, and as I sit here in the new Irish heritage shirt or whatever you want to call it, not for all the reasons that Rangers fans would call me this, that, and the next thing. For the reason of, you know, I'm glad that he's going and playing for an international team where he'll be supported, where he'll be given a choice and, you know, given the opportunity, I should say, to play football. He wasn't going to get it at Scotland. I don't think there was really any way for him to get into the Scottish national team anytime soon, down to the system we play, the options we have. You know, I think that he would have had to maybe made more of an impact in Scotland before Steve Clarke even considered him. So I'm delighted for him choosing Ireland. I think it'll be a good stage and good opportunity for him to show what he can do at an international level. And also, I just want to see the boy do well. Whether it's at Celtic, Ireland, or another club, I hope he does well with his career. I wish him all the best. But I wanted to talk about Mikey Johnston, in my personal opinion, relative to Celtic and his career at Celtic, because a lot of people, obviously, and I'll get everybody involved here tonight as well. I think everybody's jumped the gun a wee bit. I think everybody's letting a little bit of last night's euphoria take over in regards to his future at Celtic. Mikey Johnston, you know what? If he ever gets the chance at Celtic, fair enough. The first thing that I think we all have to say, and what I'll say is, I don't know what Ange's plans for Mikey Johnston is going to be. I don't know where he lies in Ange's pecking order and his choices and his options. We're a team right now with fantastic wingers. You know, Jota, Maida, Haxa. Those three are left-sided naturally as it is. Does Mikey Johnston come close to those three? Nah. He doesn't. He doesn't at all. So where does he lie in Ange Postecoglou's pecking order? I don't think it would be very high. You know, I really don't think that he would be up there amongst those guys anytime soon. Yes, he's had a decent enough loan spell at Victoria Guimarães. Yes, he burst onto the scene well last night with the Irish national team. But there's a reason that Ange loaned him out. There's a reason that Ange has signed three quality left wingers. It's because he doesn't fancy Mikey Johnston as one of his options. And let's certainly not rewrite anything about Mikey Johnston's Celtic career. He's been a couple of glimpses of a good player, but overall, his fitness has obviously been the main thing that's hampered him, which has been a shame. I really feel bad for him in that front. If he didn't keep getting struck by injuries and fitness issues, maybe he could have wrote a completely different story at Celtic and taken a completely different path. But let's be real, from what we have seen of Mikey Johnston, there was nothing at Celtic to suggest that this is a player who is going to be class anytime soon. I think the loan move has been very beneficial for him, but further will I say, I think a move away from Celtic will be very beneficial for Mikey Johnston. I'm just going to get my opinion out on the table right now, and I'm not going to hide anything, and you'll probably know by now. For me, he's not good enough to be a Celtic player. And I don't think this loan move or half an hour on the park for Ireland last night would suggest he is either. I think there's been a real big overreaction from some people, and some people are getting carried away. I'm not saying he's not a good wee player. I'm not saying I don't hope for the best, and if he can get a chance at Celtic, I'd like to see him get that chance at Celtic, but I don't think there's anything there to suggest that Mikey Johnston is going to come out to be this great player that we've been having here hiding in the wings. I don't think he's up to the standard that we need, and that's that. He's played in big games. We've seen him in having opportunities. He's had the chance to take it. That phrase that you use in wrestling. He's had the chance to grab the brass ring, if you like, and he's never really done it. Not for me, anyway. As I said, glimpses here and there, but it's just... I think there's been a few people carried away from last night. Listen, half an hour, good on him. But I think when he comes back in the summer, it'll be very telling when he arrives back from Vitoria Guimarães what Ange will do with him. Will he keep him around? I honestly don't think so. And I think that Mikey Johnston, for the sake of his own career, would be better leaving Celtic. Let's be real. Why would Mikey Johnston want to come back here, right? I don't know him personally, right? So I don't know. But if you're looking at it from the eyes of someone who wants to play consistently at the top level, he's not going to come back to Celtic from this loan move to Vitoria Guimarães, right? And get into the team ahead of any of the wingers we've got starting right now. So he's right now at a team at Portugal where he's playing football, and he could probably do that again by leaving Celtic. He's not going to come back into this team next season and make an impact when he's got the competition in the way. That's the reality of it. I would say. I think a lot of people are very wishful in him to do well, and that's completely okay. But I think in being wishful, I think people are forgetting that the quality just wasn't there, and that's the reason we've done this. Will he come back a better player from the loan move? Yeah, I do think so. Good enough to be in the team every week? Nah. And for the best of his career, I think he should keep... the development stage is slowly going away for Mikey Johnston. He's getting older. He's not a 18, 19-year-old player anymore. He's getting on a wee bit. He wants to make the most of this stage of his career. This is the kind of point where footballers nowadays are mainstays in their team. They're in the team every week. He's not a teenager anymore. And that's the thing. I think a lot of people still look at Mikey Johnston as a player who's 18, 19 years of age. He's not. Mikey Johnston isn't that player anymore. He was a few years ago. Injuries didn't help him, but that stage has passed. And listen, I want him to go and do well with Ireland, with these teams. I just don't think it's going to happen for him at Celtic. I've spoke for a bit. Let me get some of the thoughts of some Celtic fans in the chat. Hacks are either better. Why have him as a fourth choice? DM McDonald says he just can't handle the pressure to play for us. It's a shame, but our options out wide compared to Johnson, it's night and day. I completely agree. If Abad and Forrest go and Jota moves over to the right permanently, there's an opportunity for him to be a rotational squad player, but needs to move on, says Lee. Yeah, I guess that's one big part of it as well, to see what happens going into this window, because I think we're all taking the assumption right now that Abada will move on. Forrest, we obviously don't really know. He's just kind of there, isn't he? Forrest is just that kind of figurehead for the club. He's James Forrest. He's been here such a long time. We're keeping him around for that reason, sort of thing. Because he brings such an experience, and he's an important guy in the training ground. He's there for that as well. I don't think Forrest would go. I think Abada will go. But Ange will sign other players before he gives Mikey Johnston a chance. Do you not think? I personally think he would. But yeah, Good comment. His decision making is terrible and he's too greedy. I agree with this as well. I can't sit here and say that I've watched him at Victoria Guimarães. I haven't watched him play on a week in, week out basis since he's left Celtic. I don't know if his decision making has improved. But Mikey Johnston, I've been very critical of Johnston in my time. That is the same player that even Neil Lennon told to call off. We all know that. I've been critical of Johnston so many times in this channel. I think there's been games where he's looked poor, really poor. And I think decision making's been a big part of that. So I think it's a good... I don't want to turn this into a let's fucking berate Mikey Johnston video. That's absolutely not it. But these are the things that you want to see him come back from the loan move improved on. But is he going to get that opportunity to show that? I don't know. We'll need to wait and see. Johnston needs a move to someone like a Hibs or Hearts. He'll do well there. I don't agree. I think he needs a move. But I think he should expand. Look, he's doing well in Portugal. Keep up with moves like that. I think... I don't think that players, if they don't make it at Celtic or Rangers, I don't think they need to suddenly subject themselves to playing at a level of Hibs and Hearts. I think they should look for moves like Victoria Guimarães. And, I know that Victoria aren't a team who are big and huge, and, Hearts and Hibs are, probably equivalent in terms of where they lie in their nations. They're a team that lie below your Benficas, your Portos, your Sporting Lisbons. Just like Hearts and Hibs lie below Celtic and Rangers here. But look for something else. To be adventurous. Don't just stick it out at Hearts and Hibs. I would like to see Johnston go and try and make it elsewhere instead of just lying around Scottish mediocrity, But I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. People do this every year with Johnston. Fair play to him for doing well last night, but I don't want to be harsh on him. He's finished with us. Want to like him, but just not good enough. Do you know what? Following on for your last comment, my man. That's the perfect way I would word that in a tweet. That's exactly everything I would say. Put it that way. Rather focus on Vata. We've got young guys like Vata coming through as well. Reckon he'd do well at a high level championship team. Yeah, he could go down south. He could probably make it down there, somewhere like that. The 0-0 game against St Mirren before Christmas, not to be overly harsh, but he was stinking that night. It feels like Jack Hendry 2.0. Yeah, do you know what? It has a lot of that same feeling. I'll bring that comment up again, Don. Where is it? It has a lot of that same feeling to it. When Jack Hendry went away to fucking Bruges, Ostend, and he started playing decent, and people were like, oh, we should give him he got games for Scotland. And, oh, he should get back in the Celtic team. No. Why? Good on him, going Jack Hendry, for going away and doing something better. But he had his chance at Celtic, he had his time. Unless they're doing something that's overly spectacular, then maybe give them a chance. But they're not. They're playing well. Good, they should be playing well. They're professional footballers at the end of the day. It doesn't translate to suddenly being good enough to be back in a Celtic starting 11. That's the way I looked at it with Jack Hendry, and that's the way I look at it now with Mikey Johnston. But yeah, any thoughts for Ismaila Soro, says the regular maths debater. Yeah, never see him in a Celtic top again. That's my thoughts. I don't have a clue how he's been doing. Is he in Israel now? Is that where Ismaila Soro's playing? I can't remember exactly where, but yeah. And that's, Celtic 67. If there's I'm sure Mikey Johnston's agent's competent and good enough at his job to find him a move somewhere. Look for moves somewhere like France, Germany. You know what I mean? Like, he's been in Portugal. There's no reason he can't talk to clubs. Celtic, let me go and look at his transfer market profile for a minute. Let's have a look at Mikey Johnston, right? Because I don't know how long is left on his deal exactly. Because I don't imagine Celtic would get a lot of money. I don't think Celtic would get a great deal. His contract expires at Celtic. It doesn't even fucking tell me because he's on loan. Can you show me, please? When's his contract up at Celtic? 2026. Christ. So he's still got 3 years in his deal. To be fair, my glasses are manky. He's still got 3 years left in his deal. So Celtic can make a bit of money if he keeps impressing for Ireland. If he keeps impressing for Victoria Guimarães. Just to read out his seasonal stats this year: 22 appearances, 3 goals, 3 assists, 16 obviously in the Liga Portugal, where he's only found 1 goal and 2 assists. Look, listen, they can probably find a bit of money for him and move him on in the summer. I think that would be best for both parties. I really do. I knew that was going to happen though last night. I knew that was going to happen. It was good. But they were playing Latvia. You know what I mean? No disrespect. One of my best mates, one of the boys in the group chat, he's Latvian, right? So no disrespect to the Latvians, but it's Latvia. He should be playing well against them. I don't imagine there's too many top talents in the Latvia defence. You'd expect them to play well. So aye. That's that. Any more thoughts? Let's see. It was superb last night, but you can't compare Ireland to Celtic. It's a completely different setup and a tactical show. Yeah, that as well. Scales has a better chance than Mikey Johnston. Never forget that screamer he scored against Rafe Rovers. Scales scored a couple of screamers, I don't know. I don't think there is an option to buy in. I don't think so. I don't think there's an option to buy in there. So, yeah. I wonder about Scales too. Followed him since he was in the League of Ireland. Haven't followed his progress at Aberdeen though. How's he been playing? He from what I've seen. It started off well, been rotten for the best part of a wee while now, from what I understand. I don't think the Aberdeen fans are in too much of a desperate hurry to keep him around. You know what I mean? Not to quote Roy Keane, but he's a left winger dribbling past the defenders. That's his job. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how everything. I did have there was an interesting 67 Hail Hail article written by Hamish that I was reading earlier on. So shout out to Hamish. And he brought up comments on Mikey Johnston that Ange Postecoglou was speaking about earlier in the month, when obviously the news came out that Johnston was switching to the Irish national team. And amongst that, Ange obviously commented, and he said, talking about his future, that, you know, we'll just need to wait and see. He said, in terms of beyond that, he's playing more regularly in Portugal. We needed him to play more football. He's doing that. At the end of the year, we'll assess all of that and decide what the best thing for his future is. So he obviously doesn't see much in regards to what the definites are in his future. I don't think Ange will want to keep him around. I really don't. I know I can't really make that presumption, not knowing Ange or Mikey Johnston personally. But I just don't see it making sense for Mikey Johnston to be kind of kept around. So we'll see come the end of the season. We'll see how he keeps getting on in Portugal. But interesting to see last night. I think Ireland play again, don't they? So Mikey Johnston might get a start, actually, against France on Monday. So we'll see how the hype train dies down then. Because if what happens now is, if Ireland go and play France, and France pump them 4 or 5-0, hopefully Ireland do well. I'd like to see Ireland win. But say France do pump them, you know, nobody's going to be talking about Johnston then. So as a half an hour spell against Latvia where he gets an assist enough to, you know, grant him a future at Celtic? I don't think so. So that's that. Anyway, that's the Mikey Johnston stuff done. About 17 minutes in, I spoke about that for much longer than I wanted to. Apart from that, not much else happening. Obviously quiet as it's meant to be in the international break. So there's obviously players to play. We know that obviously we've got a lot of players away. Maida, Carl Starfelt, Alistair Johnston, a few other guys. Cal McGregor, of course, for Scotland. There's a few guys away on international duty. We'll wait and see how they perform. I'm not entirely sure what games are on tonight, actually. I'm going to check. Italy and England's just kicked off. San Marino, Northern Ireland's just kicked off. Slovenia beat Kazakhstan, Portugal, Liechtenstein, Slovakia. So no Celtic players playing tonight. Denmark play Finland, but of course Matt O'Reilly's under 21s. He's not even went with the under 21s. I think he's still at Lennoxtown. So no Celtic players in action tonight. Viva Italia, let's go. I hope they get a win this evening. But yeah, that's basically that. So let's just have a general Q&A for the last sort of 10 or so minutes. Yeah, I would like to talk about some other things. So let's see. So a lot of comments about Mikey Johnston and all that, by the way. I love Mikey for some reason, but a good 30 minutes because a poor nation won't bring him back into Celtic. He's not close to bad as numbers at club level this season, and he won't be next year. Yeah, let's see. So Anthony Devine, not Celtic related, but thoughts on the open goal Broomhill news. This has obviously swept the nation over the past day. Big news. If you're not familiar, the open goal ex Broomhill partnership has been brought to an end. Of course, Open Goal went in at the start of the season. They took over with a partnership of the club. They renamed the club Open Goal Broomhill. They used the podcast colours. They made a lot of changes. They changed the stadium to Broadwood up in Cumbernauld. Big changes. A partnership was created, and it's come to an end as Cy Ferry looks to be reportedly off to take up another job, and the partnership will be brought to an end at the end of the season. Open Goal released a statement joint with Broomhill to bring it to an end. The statement was a very pat in the back statement, wasn't it? David Buick put up a tweet that I thought summed it up quite well. I thought there was a lot of back patting going on in regards to what they've done. And obviously, look, listen, can I be completely honest? I don't care. Doesn't affect me. It's not Celtic related. I don't have any strong feelings. However, I am more on the sympathetic side to Broomhill in the sense that I do think that it's a bit of a slap in the face. Yeah, I think it was only meant to be a year long in the first place. I don't think there was anything to suggest it was going to go on any longer than that in concrete writing anyway. But I don't know, it just seems all very sly. I don't have any strong feelings towards it, to be honest. But we'll see what happens with the news in the next few days or not. I've not done as much reading into it to pick a side and all. I don't know why pick a side, I don't really care. But I'm not surprised. I must say, I didn't... You know, I don't think that it was something that was going to be long-lasting, that was going to be, you know, something that they'd stick through till they were in the Premiership or something like that. I'm not surprised it's kind of come to an end, so, yeah, we'll wait and see what happens. Christ, a lot of comments have flew through. If you've got questions, just keep them flooding in. What was my scran for the day? I had steak. I made a steak. I cooked myself. Chef. Made a steak. Nice wee rub on it. What did I have? Sweet potato fries, mushroom, onion. Made it all myself. Lovely. First time I've cooked mine dinner in fuck knows how long. But that was my dinner tonight. Thank you for asking, Lee. It was lovely. Out of the loan players, who's the best chance of becoming a Celtic regular? Barkas, Ayeti, Johnson, Sorrell, Montgomery, Scaleshaw. We spoke about this on the podcast a couple of weeks ago. The question was asked in the Q&A segment of the show. And my honest answer was none. I don't think any. I don't think any of the players on loan are going to come back and get in this team. I'd love to see Barkas get redemption. He's done well enough in Holland. It's not going to happen, though. Sorrow's never getting back in the team. Ayeti, nah. None of the guys that are out on loan, I think, are going to be Celtic regulars anytime soon. So, yeah. I don't think... if I was forced to pick one, I couldn't even pick. I genuinely don't believe any of them will. If anybody, it'll be some of the younger guys. You know what I mean? Like the really younger guys. Like, I don't know. I don't think he will get a chance anytime soon. But someone like Toby Oluwayemi, who's on loan, he's a young guy, plays for the B team. You know, I had that howler in the opening game of the season, right enough. But like, yeah, I just don't think any of the guys out on loan just now come back and get in this team because we're going to sign. We're going to sign players. So I think we'll get rid of them. Check out the last live stream from Monday night. Big segment on that, mate. Answer that question quite in depth, actually. Soccer AM being is it being axed? About fucking time. I've got Soccer AM. Is it being axed? Soccer AM cancelled by Sky Sports after nearly 30 years. Wow! Just 10 episodes remaining. Fucking hell. It's about time, man. It's about what, 10 years overdue? Really? I didn't know it was actually officially cancelled. I've been joking about it fucking for years. Like, oh, get it off. But aye, it's been cancelled. Wow. Thought it's fucking good. That's what I say. A lot of questions coming through. Wowie. People piling in as well as we get to the the closing stages of tonight's stream. Good to see Ralston get his call up for Scotland. Deserves it. What a player. Yeah, good to see him. I don't think he'll play. I don't think he'll play. I don't think Clark will play him. But yeah, I'm glad to see him get picked anyway. Forgot about that actually. Didn't bring it up earlier. Scotland. Thoughts on the Scotland top price? Shocking. 90 quid for a fucking taupe. I know it's limited edition, special edition, but 90 fucking quid. It's a rob. Well, I'd pay £90 for a Celtic taupe though. I agree, Ryan. None of them. You're about the loan players, yeah. Scott Bain over Barkas. Behave yourself. What else? What's happened to Johnny Kenny? Not heard anything from him. He's on loan. He's over in the League of Ireland, isn't he? At this moment in time. So, yeah, Shamrock. That's right. It's at Shamrock Rovers. That's like asking me to pick... I don't know. Obviously, Dembele's man. He's there. He's behind me, man. Obviously, I'm going to pick Dembele, but it depends on what context you're asking and all the rest of it. How much would you want for a Bada? I'd be happy with anything over 15 million, but I don't think we'll get that. I think we'll get about 10. But yeah. Does Benji Siegrist realistically break into the team in the next couple of seasons, or is he just a future Scott Bain? I think the time will come where he'll get a chance, you know. I do. I don't know why. I just think with Hart getting a little bit older, I think there'll be maybe sporadically, but Benji will start seeing more games. Do I think he's a future number one? No. But I think that he'll probably see more minutes at some point. Obviously, he's been unlucky this season. He was out injured for a bit. But I don't know. He's not getting a look in for Shamrock. Wow, didn't know that. Once again, another player who was signed that you just kind of knew was going to amount to nothing. Seemed like a bit of not a gamble. I don't think it was much of a gamble there, to be honest. Relatively risk-free, but you just kind of knew, didn't you? So, I'd honestly take 7.5 million. Really? 7.5, as low as 7.5. We signed him for 3.5. I'd like to make more than 5 million profit on him, to be honest. Especially for the output he's gave us in terms of goals and assists. I think it merits a higher price tag, to be quite honest. How do I see Scotland getting on this week? Shite. I'm not very patriotic at this moment in time. I've not been for the last year or so. I've been bored of Scotland. You hate me all you want. I know there's avid Scotland fans out there and they'll say, that's shocking. I just love the club football, man. Listen, I hope we beat Cyprus. That's the main thing. Spain, I think it's a bit of a free hit. You know, just get it over and done with. Don't be embarrassed and move on from there. As long as, you know, that brings the excitement into it. That's what I want to see. It's like you get it. You know, I went through not caring about Scotland for so long, and then we got a bit of hope, and we made a tournament, and you're like, oh my god, exciting. And I just feel like it's been blown again. I don't know. Weird. But hopefully they do well. I want to see them win at the end of the day. Will Hart save a penalty before the end of the season? No. I love Joe, but penalties aren't his forte. Let's see, what else is there? Kelleher is my future Celtic number 1. Listen, Mac, I agree, but I just think it's out of reach for Celtic. I don't think we'll ever be able to sign Kelleher. I think there'll be a decently large fee wanted from Liverpool to make that happen. I don't think that'll happen anytime soon. I would love it to, because I think it'd be a great Celtic number 1, to be honest. Yeah. Ryan, we'll beat Cyprus and give Spain a game. Hopefully so, Brian. Hope you're right. Hope we give Spain a game. Do I see us giving them a game? I thought Spain were particularly good at the World Cup at times. You know, obviously the big game was they battered. Was it Costa Rica they battered? And then obviously, you know, they held off against Germany, got beat off Japan, didn't they? But I think they're a good side, good young players. Scotland could definitely give them a game, though. Yeah, I do agree. It's a bit of a free hit. If we lose, we lose. Just as long as we're not embarrassed, I said. Let's see. Morning from Melbourne. Morning, John. Hope you have a good day. Good to see you. Jack Butland. No. Simple as that. United player or not? No. Johnson, 90-minute winner incoming on Monday. Well, listen, if that happens, Christ, I'm logging off Twitter for a day. Thoughts on Ange being... Is he in London? Is Ange in London? Do we know what Lennox Town? Is Ange in London? Even if he was, good to get away for a couple of days. We'll call it 118 Broomhill. Yes. Sure they'll all love that, the Broomhill supporters. Sevco got 20 million for Bassey, so we should aim for that for a Bada. Yeah, I know, that's not going to happen. It's just not. We're not going to get 20 million for a Bada. I know, it always still baffles me. You look, listen, that Europa League run done wonders for Bassey in terms of the price. Look, he was the last... Because this is the thing about Bassey. I'm not what pipe on about Bassey in a stream. He doesn't even play for Rangers anymore, never mind anything else. But that last 6 months leading to the Europa League final done him the world of good, because before that he was hopeless. And at Ajax he's been relatively hopeless as well. So that run done wonders for him. We are not going to get a run like that, and if we did, then maybe we'd get 20 million for a Bada, but we're not going to. So that's that. £2 donation from Jacob. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate it. Celtic Legends thoughts. I am sure. Do you know what? I've not actually looked at this yet. Who are the legends? Celtic versus Liverpool Legends lineups. I've not actually had a look at this. Let's end this. Confirmed players. That's the 3rd of March. It's a bit outdated, is it not? Right, let's have a look at the Liverpool team first. Let's get this up full screen. I will have a look at this. Thank you for the donation. So we'll end it. When is it? It's Saturday. It is Saturday. Christ. Right, let's get this up on screen then, shall we? Liverpool side. Jersey. Jesus, I'll zoom it in. It's a bit small, isn't it? Liverpool side. Jersey Dudek and Sander... Who? Sander Westerveld. Defender, Sammy Happy, a player, by the way. He's a cracking player. Martin Scuttle, he was decent. Fabio Valerio. Ragnar Klavan. Is that a legend? Ragnar bloody Klavan. He's a fucking... Jesus. Midfielder, Steve McManaman. Christ, God help us. Mohamed Sissoko, Mark Gonzalez, Gary McAllister, Albert Riera, Salif Dio, Charlie Adam. Charlie Adam, Liverpool legend. What the fuck? Do I count as a Liverpool legend because I spent the weekend there one time? Like, what the fuck? Steven Gerrard. That'll be interesting. Duckout, Luis Garcia, Jibril Cisse, and Robbie. Jibril Cisse, there's a name for the past. Christ. And Robbie Keane. Robbie Keane's on the Liverpool side, is he? Oh, that's remembered, Robbie. Well done. I'm going to go and find the Celtic legends. I've not. This will be a first-time reaction. I genuinely don't know who's involved. I know Lustig's involved. Celtic squad recap. Here we go. Is this the Celtic team? Let me get it up. That's what he said. Right, here we go. Celtic. Host of fan favourite Stan Petrov. Okay, there's a legend. Will captain the Celts. And Mikael Lustig, Joe Ledley, and Emilio Zagiri, and Robbie Keane. Also, Keane's in both teams, is he? Right, Keane's on both sides. Former captain Paul Lambert will take charge of the team for the dugout alongside Tom Boyd. Oh, here it's here. Right, a graphic. Let's see. Shea Given. Given. They never even played for us at senior level. Boric. I don't care. That's enough. Oh, Naylor. Fucking brilliant. I love Lee Naylor. What a player. Lustig, brilliant. Brat back. Didn't expect to see him. Ramon Vega, Darren O'Day, Glenn Lovins, Emilio Zagiri, Venagura Hesselink. Do you know, I got offered press for this game. I wish I fucking took it now. Yeah, Venagura Hesselink, Niall McKinn. What's he doing there? Polar Bear in Arlington, Texas. Robbie Keane. Mark Crosas, legend. Love him. Fucking love him. Trevor Sinclair. That's a bit of an odd one, is it not? Cy Donnelly, Ross Wallace, Simon Ferry. Cy Ferry's a joke, innit? Cy bloody Ferry. Christ. Jesus. Tom Boyd, Paul Lambert, Massimo Donati. Obviously, they're managing, aren't they? Assistant manager, forward Mark. Do you know what? It's not that bad. I mean, this is the thing, right? I can see a lot of people complaining in there saying legends. That's a cheat code. I mean, listen, what legend? We're not going to get John Clark to go and run about the park, are we? Like, the guy's about 80. It's, you know, there's not a lot of legends we can choose, like, guys. People who are able to go and play a game of football. You know what I mean? Like, there's two, even somebody like Paul McStay. Paul McStay's in his 60s, is he not? Like, I think, what age is Paul McStay? Just want to check. Paul McStay, 58. He's hardly going to be running about a football park. Come on. You know, it's got to the point where these kind of games are difficult. Yeah, we could have got Brown. We could have got Brown, probably. Yeah, maybe. Brown's got a game on Saturday. There you go. We couldn't have got Brown. He's managing Saturday. Fleetwood are still playing, of course. So, I mean, what can you ask for, really? We're not going to ask for John Clark or Jim Craig to be getting the fucking boots on, so we may as well get whoever we can. So, look, there's some names in there that I like, you know. I loved Lee Naylor when I was a wee guy. Thought he was a great player. Venagura Hesselink, loved him. Crosas, I loved Crosas. Never really got the big chances or anything, but anyway, that's that. There's a game on Saturday. We might talk about that on Saturday. Anyway, I'm going to end it there. That's us today. Thank you, everybody, for coming out and watching, listening, whatever. If you've missed any of it, you can watch it from the start when it's finished. So, yeah, I appreciate you all turning up, being here tonight. And, yeah, have a good evening. Back on the channel tomorrow, hopefully, ahead of the weekend. And we'll maybe talk about this at some point. Right, cheerio. Have a good night. Thank you. Bye.